Hey guys, it is the Indy Mayhem Show. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter, here alone as usual these days. It's Sorgatron Media in Pittsburgh, PA, socially distancing ourselves from so much. And that's why here on Thursday nights we've been doing our kind of quarantine hangout for the Indy Mayhem Show in lieu of the usual interviews, because that feels kind of weird right now because it's hard to promote upcoming events with the current situation. But we got a crew with us, all representing tonight Prospect Pro Wrestling, actually, that you can see over at indiewrestling.us. First of all, he is, I believe, the inventor of the pasta death match. Chest Flexor is with us.
That is a fact. I invent pasta matches. I invent all kinds of things that we cannot talk about on here and things that we will talk about on here. So.
Yeah, there's that too. Also with us, just going around the line, Professor Ryan Dye returns to the show.
Hello. I've invented things as well. It's not as impressive as the pasta death match, but it's pretty good. You know, not many people have been killed by it. You know, stuff.
And then also, I believe a first-timer on any of our Mayhem shows, Zack Rayne, has joined us.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Fantastic. How are you guys doing? How are you guys holding up so far? We are the weeks into this at this point. So I'm pretty sure none of us are going into the yellow zone at the end of the week here in Pennsylvania.
It doesn't look like
mostly
it.
No. So how have you guys been passing the time here? I know the biggest thing, 2PWs, you guys, the back chat has been really interesting, and one of the things that's been helping my sanity, seeing what you guys get into over the last few weeks. For instance, this weekend, it seemed like it got into crafting projects a little bit. I feel like there's some wrestling HGTV action going on here. What the heck happened this weekend?
Everybody's reached the point where they literally have run out of things that they thought were fun to do, so now we're all turning into responsible adults, which is very unusual for this group.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Weren't you building a deck, or was that Xander?
That was Xander.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, there was like somebody staining something. I think, Zach, you said you were... somebody started their computer. Zach, I think you were working on a cornhole set?
Bigfoot.
A Bigfoot cornhole.
Sasquatch-themed cornhole boards.
Fantastic.
Sounds gross, whatever that means. What is a cornhole board?
You've never seen... You're from Pennsylvania, right?
I don't know, am I?
You've never seen
underground laboratory.
You've never seen the boards with the hole in it, and they throw bean bags back and forth. Usually, people are severely intoxicated. Like,
oh, I've seen that.
Is there another name for it? Is there something else?
I've only known it as cornhole, and
what can we come up with another name for cornhole? Let's come up with something right now.
No,
is it
reinvent? It's like reinventing the wheel, but we're reinventing the whole of the coin.
I think that's just remarketing if we're not actually building stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What if it just like Tossy Get Drunky? Is that like the preschool version of it?
Isn't that also beer pong?
Maybe.
Let's call it group tossing. Everyone likes that.
Sack canoodling.
Sack canoodling. Perfect.
I feel like I've only seen it here and in Michigan, maybe. So no, I've definitely seen it in Nebraska. So it's gone around, and they have corn. Like, they're big on the corn out there. The
beanbags actually had corn in them at one time. I learned that by accident while I was looking up dimensions for the thing.
Wait. So wait. Did you fall down the cornhole?
Rabbit hole?
You found a cornhole hole.
Oh my god.
That's where we're
great.
This is not the direction I thought this was going to go.
Professor Rayne, how many holes have you fallen into?
My underground laboratory is technically in a hole, and I've been in there and out of there many a time. I fall into a lot of ditches in the middle of the night when I'm night digging. When you dig holes at night to bury stuff. This one time in the desert, jet engine turned on unexpectedly, blew me into a hole, and
how many sacks? How
We're
many
up to
sacks
5.
have you tossed into a hole?
I mean, does a body bag count as a sack?
Yes. Have you tossed a sack into the hole of a sack into a sack? What's the like?
What?
Inception. He tossed a sack
cul-de-sac?
into a hole that's in a sack, in a hole.
He lives on a cul-de-sac.
It's okay. You're gonna have to finish your run-on sentence before I can figure out what the hell you're talking about.
Wait.
So let's say there's a sack in a hole, and in that sack is a hole that you're tossing a sack into.
So there's a sack with a hole and a hole, and then I toss a sack in that hole.
No, the sack is in a hole, and in that sack is a hole that you're tossing the sack into. Can we put a diagram up?
I'm drawing one as we speak. So
where's your trash bag pants that you could draw on, Professor Ryan's eye? I mean, your whiteboard pants that you could draw on.
I destroyed those right after our match.
Don't you usually have a dry erase board with you? I know you've yelled at me for standing on it before.
Is it like this? Is that
Oh, we have visuals now.
Is that Chest Flexor?
That is actually pretty close. That's almost.
I do have a giant dry erase board that I could hang on this, but it's in my lab.
We don't want to. Don't pull that down. We know what's behind it.
Yeah, we don't want to reveal that. We're only.
It's a PG show.
Yeah.
Professor Rayne, tell everybody what your first match was in professional wrestling.
My first public match was a tiki death match against one Chest Flexor.
Oh, I heard about this.
No, you don't. In front of a crowd of hundreds, waiting to go to intermission. Our match happened, and I had a whole plan. I drew it on my pants using dry erase marker. First, I couldn't find the marker. One of the new boys hit it in the wrong turnbuckle, made me look dumb. I hate that kid. So I drew a match plan on my pants, and then I was supposed to erase that later. It didn't erase. It was just a mess. Got rid of those. I blame Chest Flexor.
Listen,
He threw me onto the ground.
Every failure in your life you could probably blame me for, except for that what was that incident that happened in Squirrel
Hill? To be
Hill?
more specific.
The Squirrel Hill incident that you caused?
That was not me. You keep suggesting it was, but it wasn't.
That's what I heard.
Okay.
Well, you hear a lot of stupid things. And you repeat them too.
What happened in Squirrel Hill?
You didn't hear about
nothing.
I'd really like to know about this. Is it appropriate for the Wrestling Mayhem show?
I think
It's
as long
really
as the
not.
feds aren't listening.
So basically every phone call with Bronco I've ever had. Perfect.
Yeah.
Might be a bit worse.
No.
Speaking of odd incidents, we were kind of talking beforehand about some interesting heel moments. I know, Zach, you said you had a 6-month stint, and then in that time already did like maybe one of the worst things possible in your career.
Yeah. So I did something that Robert Downey Jr. is currently getting some heat for, which
Is he?
in hindsight, yeah, because apparently 12-year-olds are now just seeing Tropic Thunder for the first time.
Oh no!
And they're upset about his portrayal as well as the use of the R word.
Yeah. Oh, but that was like what, 15 years ago, right? Like that's,
Rhetoric?
Right.
Rhetoric.
Yeah,
Yes, rhetoric.
Rugrat.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I it was a different time, and I used the R word by accident, and then made someone cry, and felt extremely bad, and had to jump through hoops to try to make it right. And it was all right. It worked out. Kid was cool.
All right. I'm trying to. You said the R word. I'm trying to think of objectionable things that Robert Downey Jr. did in that movie. He did a couple objectionable things in that movie. He
Don't you
he
dare!
did something with his complexion. Did you do that too?
No, definitely not.
No? Okay.
There was no time where that was appropriate.
Professor, what's the craziest thing you've done so far to in your stint? Because I think you've been mostly yelling at the fans, right?
Right. I mostly yell at the fans. Every once in a while, I reach into the crowd and like tip up their hat so it lands on some unfortunate child. That's fun. They yell at me for that. One time, and I feel bad about this because it might have cost me a T-shirt sale. But other than that, one time, a
That's the
fan
true
came
measure.
up to me. He was trying to hang, as the kids say, try and talk some smack, try and get up in my grill. And he asked about the T-shirts, and I happened to mention, "Oh, hey, this one's 2XL, if that's large enough for you."
Oh.
And as he turned away, his head hanging, I kind of yelled, "Don't worry about it. Body shaming's my gimmick." And it didn't help, and he did not buy a T-shirt. So I feel bad about that one.
Oh.
I don't know. I guarantee you it's not the worst thing Flexor ever did, but it's the first time I ever saw him was pooping into a frying pan.
Wait, I never pooped into a frying
No,
pan.
but you were in the background, weren't you?
I was the cameraman.
Okay,
And I
knew-
was also the guy who came up with the premise of,
Right.
you know what we should do to describe these professional wrestling fans? We should do a PSA. There was a old PSA that was on TV way back when probably most of these kids before they were born, where they would take an egg, break it into a frying pan. This is your brain on drugs, yada, yada, yada. So we had an egg, threw it into a frying pan, boom, this is your brain. And then somebody took a poop into the frying pan and then held it to the camera and said, "And this is the brain of a professional wrestling fan," which we stand by today. All of us on this video call right now stand by that today.
Well, you can't speak for us.
He was another talented bald gentleman. That's right. I remember.
He was a delicious bald gentleman.
All right. PSA stands for public service announcement. How exactly did you service the public by pooping into a frying pan?
Listen, I didn't service the public like you do, but we let them know that professional wrestling fans' brains are like a steaming, sizzling, frying pile of poo-poo. Chico.
After 9 concussions, I feel like my brain is a pile of poop.
Wait, are you a fan of professional wrestling?
I mean, at one time.
Stands true. Look at that.
No.
Bob's your uncle.
I hate professional wrestling.
Well, I mean,
wrestling's the worst.
the fans also think that after they watch some of your matches. So
I told somebody
You're involved in about half of them.
I told somebody this. I think that I was on another podcast a couple of nights ago. I don't remember which one this was, but they were talking about like the meanest things, like you had to go, oh God, I have to get better. Like when you were early on in your career. And I remember a fan posted somewhere that every time I watch Zack Rayne wrestle, I feel like someone owes me a free pizza and a soda. I was just like, oh my God.
That's a weird specific, like
we owe him something for having to have watched me. That definitely that struck a chord.
Is that why 2PW always provides pizzas in the back?
Because you guys have
we have to.
Because you have to be on the same show as me.
Oh geez. Heel Bradley's in the chat room, of course.
Oh, Christ.
We miss you, Bradley. We miss you. Well, some of us miss you. He says Ryan put some.
I'm not going to accept her friend's request.
No,
I'm just not. Leave me alone.
I must be getting soft in my quarantining, because I've accepted way more friend requests lately, and I probably shouldn't. I'll regret those in like a week. But Bradley says Ryan put some machine on his head and it hurt his mind at one point. When was that?
Oh yeah. It was right around when I just got started. I kept showing up to IWC shows, sneaking in, and they kept not putting me in matches. So during intermission, I would just zap people with stuff. And I tried to suck all the brains out of Bradley's head, but didn't exactly work. You can guess why. The joke is he has no brains. That's the joke. You're welcome.
It all comes together. All comes around. Chess, I think you were telling us another story before we were starting the show too, about another time that you.
Oh yeah, I got so hard. Wait, what are we talking about?
What? No, not that one. The other story. The other story. That's when we were.
That one was about his workout regimen. Everything's fine here.
Yeah, that's when.
My muscles are swelling. I was tasked with the duty to pick up the steel cage that IWC bought years and years ago. I traveled up to Ohio with Dave DeMira, former IWC superstar, and this one other guy, David Red, who looked identical to Dave DeMira. Actually, if you could probably say they're one and the same, likeness-wise. But anyway, so we went up there to pick up this cage at this event at a Quaker Steak and Lube out in the parking lot. So while we were up there, they said, "Hey, you guys, do you have your wrestling gear with you?" And of course we did, because we're smart like that.
Always bring your bag.
So they said, 2 of our guys got stuck at the border. Would you like to be in a 6-man tag team match? We did, obviously. So the match happened, and out in the crowd, there was this little son of a gun who, obviously, if you watch the PSA video that we put out, his brains looked exactly like what was in that frying pan. He was telling me I was horrible, I was a piece of garbage. He was using words that I would not use in front of my mother, and I've said all kinds of things to my mother and in front of her. I told that little brat that he was a dirty, freaking soulless ginger because he was a redhead. And he started, his eyes started welling up. He was crying. And lo and behold, his mother was there to save the day. So she gets up right on the ring apron. She's reaching in the ring. "You bastard! Don't say that to my son. How dare you? Apologize to him." I say, "It's not my fault. He's a soulless ginger. And if you want to get in this ring, go ahead." I shushed her aside. I spread the ropes open, held him up because I'm a gentleman. And I said, "Get in here and I'll give you the beating that your husband should have a long time ago." And there's a video of that. I'd have to find it on YouTube, but there is video of it. And she did not get in the ring, but she wanted to. She was actually being held back by some guy. I'm sure it wasn't her husband, probably the side projects that she has. Sorry for him. He probably got 3 STDs and not the ones that matter. Myself, Core Futuristic, and I mean, who else is in the STDs anymore? Where's Billy Ruxpin, Brian McDowell, Gary Larry Lee Rhines? What happened to Andrew Palace? Who knows? But anyway, yeah. So I made fun of this little redheaded kid. He bawled his eyes out. He probably, not hopefully. I mean, he probably killed himself. I'm sorry. It shouldn't have happened to a better person. But that's what happens whenever you get into a verbal altercation with Chest Flexor. Right, Ryan Die? Where's your news?
Yeah, sometimes you chew out a ginger and the ginger snaps.
Exactly. So tell us, what kind of porn do you have in your house right now?
Well, since I have the entirety of my internet on this,
it's all hand drawn.
Is that a calculator?
Yes.
He
I have the
types
entire
in
internet on this.
8008 and gets off on boobs or boob, whatever.
Listen, I like numbers. Okay.
What's your favorite number?
9.
Why?
Mostly because of the old trick where any multiple of 9, you add up all the different integers and it becomes a multiple of 9. Like 81 is 1 and 8. That's 9. I like that. It's so easy.
Hilarious.
It's just so. It's not really. It's just
hilarious.
It's just
what
nice.
happened on Squirrel Hill? What happened on Squirrel Hill, Professor?
We're not talking about the squirrels or the hill. Okay.
Is that the number 9 in Egypt? Is that his?
Actually, the
is
number
that
9 is
hieroglyphic number 9. I also. So Zach,
this is.
Go ahead, Chest. What can I do for you?
If you had to sum up your friendship with Bronco McBride in 2 words, what would those 2 words be?
Self-destructive.
I can see that.
Okay.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
I think
Hey, Sorg, I thought this was your show.
Is one-sided? Is that 2 words or 1 word?
I'd say it's 1.
If the Rev Ron Hunt came with a warning label, what would it say? That's for all 3 of you.
Oh my god. Warning, late for show. No.
Well, that was gonna be mine. Put on last. I don't know.
What is it?
That sounds like a compliment.
I keep telling him that he needs to get a T-shirt that says Ron Hunt arrive last, wrestle last. But he won't do it.
I mean, that only works if he actually wrestles last that night.
I mean, it's often.
Oh yeah.
And again,
because he's like
poopy brains. No one will know the difference. They'll just buy the shirt, right?
I have a pair of wrestling tights.
I have a pair of wrestling tights. Who buy your shirts backfires.
You have a pair of wrestling tights
that has a frying pan with an egg on them.
Do you really?
Yes.
That's amazing. I feel like I've seen them.
Well, I'm sure you watch all my matches, so I'm sure you have.
The first time I ever met you, do you remember that? I think it was.
Of course I do.
It was at 5. I think it was at 5 star.
It was at 5 star.
And I knew that I felt like I already knew you through like Bronco, but like obviously I'd never met you in person. But I remember before I even saw him, they did the old tabletop thing. They pushed me over the guy leaning down, and I think you were the guy kneeling behind me, right?
Could have been. That sounds like a memory that I have.
Bradley,
I remember tripping, almost falling down, and realizing who it was. And like I was really mad at first, and then I went, "Oh, I already know what he's all about." I was like, "Hey, it's nice to meet you, Chest."
Bradley has
afterwards.
Bradley has a rev warning in the chat room. Will claim to be your father.
That's true. Zeke Mercer's been trying to disprove that one for like 3 years.
but yeah. Them being like booked on every card together doesn't help things.
Well, and Rev tells everybody he's 42 years old. he's 27, mind you.
Yeah. What?
Is he?
That's the hot news dropping tonight. Sorry, Rev. Your secret's out.
You're actually young.
Yes, I think, and he's is he officially is he over the Rona by now? Is a 2-week period up? I know he posted. I know he's making TikToks like nothing happened right now.
I just talked to him.
Okay,
and I'm sure he doesn't mind if I say this, but he said that he should resume normal working and goings about like in a week. He said.
So Rev everywhere again.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
News, wrestling, Ring of Honor.
Exactly.
Making 10,000 videos of me beating him up and making it look like all I do is assault black dudes like all day long. Between him and Zeke, I swear to God, I've been shown no less than like 15 of those dancing African funeral videos.
Yes.
I'm like, how am I in so many of these?
You weren't. I don't. Were you in? I think it was the match they had earlier, because the one that still blows my mind was when Zeke gets chopped and just like hangs for a minute before he falls.
I was standing on the floor right behind them.
You were on the floor.
I was still sick. That was the week after I blacked out in the title tournament in the ring.
Right.
And so Bronco replaced me in the match. So I was standing right next to the ring, but I was not in the match. So I was still in the video though.
Mm-hmm. Jeez. So otherwise, how are you guys? You know, have you discovered any other than making cornhole? Have you guys discovered any new hobbies? Chess, I know you've been trying to ski a little bit.
I can't ski whenever there's no snow. But luckily for us, we're gonna get about 6 feet of snow in the next couple of weeks.
There you go. There's some powder.
When are you coming out to Seven Springs with me, Sword?
Whenever. We were supposed to this over this winter, weren't we?
We were. Actually, the winter got cut short.
Yeah.
I was up there last weekend. They were open. That was the same day as the last IWC event. Mm-hmm. I was up there, spent the night, and then everything got shut down. Like, everything was pretty much getting shut down the week before that, but we were like, we'll still try.
Listen, I've never skied before. I don't know. I may have ice skated when I was like 8. So if you can show me how to do it on the bunny hill, Chest, then I'm all up for it.
Here's my best advice that I tell anybody: if you're going down the hill and you haven't fallen over yet and you're not at the bottom, then you're doing fine.
Okay.
Just keep going, and worry about stopping whenever you get to the bottom. Who cares?
Who cares?
I didn't know how to stop until like 2 seasons in.
Okay.
I don't pizza and French fry. I just say fudge it and go for it.
That advice works until you run headfirst into a tree like Sonny Bono or Michael Schumacher.
I actually there's a video of it. I ran into a snowmaker, and it was either snowmaker or it was snowmaker. I like split nutted snowmaker. I'll show you that. I'll send you the video, Professor Ryan. You can watch it whenever you're watching those other videos that you got there behind that.
I do like to see people in pain.
So what is it I'm missing out with skiing? Like what is I just watched like what was the one, Downhill or something with Will Ferrell a couple weeks ago. That was about just kind of tumbling family relationships though, more than skiing.
Skiing's about ruining relationships. Listen, and this might sound weird, but once you do it, and so the first time I ever went skiing, I took a ski lesson with Marshall Gambino on Valentine's Day. We took a ski lesson together, him and I.
How sweet.
Marshall will tell you this too. It's the most peaceful, yet it's like peaceful and exhilarating. It's like the best of both worlds, because you're out there all on your own. And you're also like doing some like it's an extreme sport. You could do it peacefully, but like you're out there trying to like go as fast as you can. I've gone down a hill. There's an app on the phone you could get. It's called Snow Tracks or Ski Tracks or something like that. There's a bunch of apps, but it'll track like how many times you go up and down the hill, how fast you're going, the altitude, the vertical degree and stuff like that. The fastest I've ever went was like 52 miles an hour, something. So imagine just standing on 2 sticks going 52 miles an hour down the hill, hoping you don't die.
It sounds very peaceful. It does.
It is, but it's all,
like you described it.
You're just by yourself. You're in the zone, and it's so like it's relaxing, and it's also like an adrenaline rush at the same time.
I think every wrestler has like a weird non-aggressive hobby. Not weird. Like there's nothing weird about skiing, but like every wrestler has like that other thing they do to unwind. Like Flexor skis, I go longboarding, Dime hangs out on Grindr and makes friends. Whatever it is Ryan does.
Weird shit.
Like, what's yours? What's your non-wrestling, like, I'm not gonna hurt myself hobby?
Squirrel Hill. Tell them about it.
That's no, we're not talking about Squirrel Hill. That's not a thing. We can't talk about it because Squirrel Hill doesn't exist. Squirrel Hill's gone. Have you been to Squirrel Hill lately?
After what you did up there, it's pretty much gone.
You're a monster.
The FBI is going to be on next week's show.
Yes, Nunzio and Tracy Smothers. Get better, Tracy
and
Smothers.
Mambo.
And Mambo.
God bless. Hey, can I intervect here? Intervene. Everybody that can. I know everybody's in a weird situation right now, but Tracy Smothers, he's suffering from cancer. He's hopefully going to get through this, but they're taking up a collection, GoFundMe, and all that stuff. If you have 50 cents or $1 or whatever the minimum is, even donate to Tracy Smothers. He's an amazing guy. The last time I saw him was up at AIW. I walked in the locker room wearing the shirt. I'm just going to quote the shirt. Sorg, don't cut me off here. It's a shirt that says, "Fuck you, Flexor." I walk up to Tracy Smothers. He looks at me. He says, "Fuck you, Flexor." And then he just busts out laughing. He gives me a big hug. I love Tracy Smothers. He's an amazing guy. Everybody knows that. If you can help Tracy Smothers out, help him out. Find the link to his GoFundMe on my Facebook page. Chest Flexor, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all the above.
Okay, now you're just using Tracy Smothers to promote your own stuff. And that seems
what
kind
did
of
you use
underhanded.
Squirrel Hill for? That was your agenda.
Nothing.
I want to know so much. I want to know so much more about this. So Ryan, go ahead.
This is completely off subject, but I've been getting 10,000 questions about it as if I know the guys, which I don't. The whole Revolt thing,
the revival.
Isn't that the revival? Has they copyright another tag team's name or something?
Again? Wait. First the Reaper, now this.
Yeah, so the Revolt, which obviously have been really getting big lately. They're holding 4 sets of tag straps. They're
what
all over the planet, and they just got their name copyright right out from underneath them.
Where do they? I'm not familiar with this team. Revival, I am, but where are these guys usually wrestling out of?
Dude, all over the place.
Really?
England, all over the East Coast. If you look them up, the second you see their picture, you're gonna know exactly who they are.
Okay. No, it's all Revival right now.
Yeah, right.
Because it's all over the news. So
yeah, and that's the only reason I said anything. Was I'm this is the 4th time this has happened this month. That's the new cool thing.
Because the other one was the Reaper, Matt Connard, Sean Spears, and then I love and I didn't realize was it a remix or something that they're completely on the same show. So it's the connection is there, and of course it's get your Chest Flexor is obviously copywritten because that's your real name, your real Christian name, Chest Flexor.
It's actually Chester Flexorian.
Yeah, close enough.
Real fans know that, Sword.
Yes.
Well, no one knew that because you have no real fans.
Who's Nicholas Krynock? Says it right down here at the bottom.
Well, that's not supposed to show up. That's not real.
Have you looked at your screen yet?
It's not on my screen.
It's an alias.
It just says you.
Wait, hold on.
Nick Krynock is dead. He's buried at Squirrel Hill.
He balls. Son of a bitch. Prayers at Krynock.
It's a good thing this isn't live, so Sorg can edit this out.
Yep.
Somebody call Mama Krynock. Let her know what happened to her baby boy.
Absolutely.
This is so stupid.
So I mean, is that a thing? When people come up with their name through Wrestling School, is the new role going to be hey, get that thing trademarked at this point? This seems to be happening more and more.
I think it's becoming more important to do so. Honestly, that was there was a huge discussion on a bunch of the worker pages and stuff about that. About if you have something legitimately good, you may want to start worrying about it.
Yeah.
So I'm safe, but STDs you might want to get that one taken care of. That one's still clever.
Shoot.
I love telling people that have no concept of indie wrestling about that. Like, oh yeah, there's this team, they're the STDs, they were on the show. I was telling them about the walk-off with the runway the other night. And my mother goes, the what? They're the STD. Oh wait, no, it means sexy talented dudes. And she's like, I don't think I like wrestling. I said, yeah, I know, Mom.
I usually say it with I usually say the STDs. Pause for reaction. The sexy talented dudes.
The good thing about this is I can just go pee in the middle of it and stay on camera.
I was told specifically I wasn't supposed to use the restroom during.
Oh, now
I was.
Just let it go. Just let it go.
All right, you're pooping in frying pans. You're peeing in the middle of
He's
of
also
a podcast.
He's peeing into a coffee pot as we speak.
I should have peed. I should have turned the camera around onto the mirror and just peed onto the mirror so I could have urinated on every single one of you.
I like having Flexor on between this and I think the watch along too. We get a tour of his. There it goes.
Gotta flush.
Better wash your hands.
That's what I'm about to do right now. Wait.
Oh no!
Balance this.
Oh, no. What is that? There you go.
I hope you drop your phone into the.
We gotta sing. We can sing "Happy Birthday" or
twice. You got to sing it twice.
Or the first verse of your theme song. I don't
have
know.
To sing it twice.
Birthday to the people that Rayne died. Blah 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 blah. In Squirrel Hill. Happy birthday.
We don't talk about that.
To.
Oh no.
No, it's a guy washing his hands in a sink. Stop being a pervert.
Oh.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Did you just take a screenshot?
I just drew it real quick. I'm working on my art skills during the quarantine.
This is the worst show ever of all time.
Well, we're not. There was no subject matter. We're just being ridiculous.
Wait, should I floss and brush my teeth right now too? Do a full like.
Do you go to bed at 8:30 at night?
Yeah, I do, Sonny. What time do you go to bed?
I can't say anything. Bronco calls me old man Zack because like he'll call and he'll be like, Zack, it's 8. How are you in bed? I'll be like, I got to get up at 4. Like, what do you mean?
Do you know about Bob?
I don't know. Like Bob the Goon or a Bronco?
No. Ask Bronco about Bob.
Okay, I'll ask.
He's got some. That was probably the best time of my life was being on FaceTime with Bronco and Bob. You've got to ask Bronco about Bob.
I can't even imagine. Some of the things that Bronco has told me, the fact that he, 1, is still alive, and 2, he doesn't have a book written about him already, it blows my mind.
He does. It's just called a rap sheet.
There you go. Drake Braddock is in the chat room, Flexor, and he says there's a fun story about the first time he met you at VOW reffing.
Well, tell him to tell it. Why isn't he on here?
I didn't know that would trigger a memory for you, or it was in here. So.
I'm on the video chat page. I'm trying to read these comments. I'm seeing like barely anything.
Oh, that's yes. Well, he's over in the different chat room. He's over on my watch party.
Oh my gosh! I was in the watch along. I think I'm still in the watch along. I'm on the live and damn you, Sorgan! You're so many different.
We're on like 2 Facebooks. We're on Periscope. We're on Twitch right now. So all the gamers are watching us. So all over the place.
Later we'll put this up on 2PW's OnlyFans accounts.
Yes.
Subscribe to that.
Here's a good question. I was actually thinking about this earlier. If you had a Patreon, Rayne die,
right?
What would be we'll limit it to 3 things you would offer, and what would their price points be?
That's a good workshop.
I really ought to think about that. That's a whole lot. You asking me to come up with a whole business strategy in the span of 30 seconds. Well, it's not going to be very good.
Okay.
For a $5 mark, he weight shames you.
Yeah. It's got at $5. You get pictures of my feet, but I still have shoes on.
Oh God.
At $10, you get pictures of me in someone else's underwear.
How much to be a lab assistant? How much to be a lab assistant?
You mean
$4,816.
Yeah, I was gonna say you mean experiment subject. That sounds great.
How much would you pay to be his experiment subject?
Me?
Yes.
I mean,
You remind me of a guy I've experimented with.
I'm gonna need 2 hot dogs for that one.
Do they have to be hot dogs?
Hot dogs aren't extinct yet. We can still
Can one
get
be
hot
his
dogs.
wiener? Can it be like a...
We can't shake hands
Let's just drop
anymore.
all the
So my price is going up.
So no more handshake. So it's hot dog
Well, yeah,
and another hot dog.
So there's something. Why don't we discuss that? We're going to set precedent moving forward. So we can no longer shake hands. What should we do instead? Even
Kiss
the
on the
flexor,
lips.
even the flexor shake is going to be outlawed.
Oh yeah.
Kiss on the lips.
No more palm tickling. What are you going to do?
Let's go that beehole.
We should we headbutt each other? That's still physical contact, I guess.
It's just gonna be the
How
elbow.
about we just say
right?
hi to each other, and then we just leave at the end of the night without saying goodbye or without
We have our
having
face
to
masks
put
on.
stuff up.
Oh.
Hello. Oh, we're going to kiss with face masks.
I'm not terribly comfortable with that. Sounds like a
Professor
little bit
Ryan
much.
Dye. Ryan Dye, are you an essential worker?
No. Do I look? I mean, my work is essential to mankind. I am developing like the greatest and latest breakthroughs, but it's not like I'm getting paid for it.
And they only sometimes kill people. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Squirrel Hill? What are we talking about?
Sometimes.
As soon as we go off the air, I need to hear what this actually is.
Yes.
No, you don't.
I mean,
Warhol doesn't real.
I'm gonna
Squirrel's
ask.
not real.
I'm gonna ask him, Ryan.
Well, guys, we are actually heading
You
up
really
to
shouldn't.
the end of our time here. Where could people? Is there anywhere people can support you guys right now?
Challenge me on League of Legends so you can lose like a noob.
There you go. Even if it's a mental help to you guys.
I am on Twitter at DieRyanDie. My first name, no, my last name, then my first name, then my last name again.
Nicholas
And I believe
Krynock.
I'm also on.
Hi, Nicholas Krynock.
I don't know who that is. That man's dead. I don't know him. I've never heard of him before. Shut
Just
up.
search-
Instagram. Shut up.
Search Nicholas Krynock, Squirrel Hill.
You'll find it in the police database.
Oh, Flexor, you want to play
No, you
anything?
won't.
Everyone knows where to find me. I mean, outside their windows. Chest Flexor on all social media. I need to make a pro wrestling tees store because that's a thing to do. I should have probably had it a while ago.
You have a lot of t-shirt designs, so you're ready to go.
Yeah.
So there you go. And also with Indie Wrestling US, a lot of the guys that we have a part of there, and I think maybe Flexor, we might have sent you one. I'm not sure, but we have discount codes for the guys if you want to support the wrestlers that are represented on this show. Those codes will be in the show notes here, and that'll give you 10% off items over at indiewrestling.us, and it gives back to the wrestlers, something that we're doing here to help everybody out during the quarantine and COVID situation, because can't really get out and do anything right now. So help you guys out in this downtime. So please go check that out. Chest, Ryan, I almost said the other name, Zack.
There is no other name.
It's
How
right
did you
here.
do that?
It's right
There's
here.
only Nicholas Kreinrock here.
No, that man's dead. He never existed.
I'm gonna have t-shirts for the next show, guys.
All profits go to the Squirrel Hill victims.
Yes. Thank you so much, everybody. Until next time, please support indie wrestling and please support each other's sanity out there.
And fuck that ginger little kid, son of a bitch! I smacked his mother upside her head. Bitch,
We'll
tried to
see.
win with me.
We'll see you guys next time.
Well, at least that was all at the end.